Hey folks, well I'm back at the Losi XX project. Moving on to bag C, which is right here. Quite a few parts in this bag, so it might take me might be a longer video. Stupid cat's been up on the counter. So let's see here. It's pretty much a rear suspension build, obviously from the pictures. So first part it calls for is the rear pivot support. Now this is one of those pieces that was different than the on the double XT that I bought, and double X parts weren't compatible because the pivots were separate from this plate. So this is this is one I actually had bought new a while back, quite a long time ago, because I had broke one and this was a spare. So I'm going to use it. So away it goes. It kind of slips in there. There's a little lip that slips underneath there. I'm just going to turn this camera a little bit more. There we go. And then it uses 4 of the countersink screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in it goes. This is one of those parts where I'm going to see if I can buy some, find some online, stock up a little bit, because it's one of the few parts that I broke on this car when I run it. I think I broke one suspension arm, front suspension arm as well at one point. So after this bag it'll look a little more like an RC car because it'll have front and rear suspension. I haven't had this car apart that many times because the screws still thread in quite solid. Take a little bit of effort. That's good. I'm not worried about stripping them out. Some of the RC vehicles these days, like from what I've seen, like the Axial, Exoterra and that, they use such soft plastic that, and then they use like the wood screw, the coarse thread screws to thread into it, and they strip out real easy. Now, I know they use the soft plastic in order to try to add to the durability, but I think they go to the point, go a little too far, make things a lot weaker. But alright, next step is the rear shock tower, which go figure wasn't in the bag. It's right here. There's quite a bit of flashing. Excuse me. There's quite a bit of flashing on this one as well, so I will clean it off. And then that goes on. Other piece that wasn't in the bag. Rear bulkhead. Now, I'm going to look at the 2 of them. Really don't know which is which. I'd say this was the original one because this one's got a little more wear and tear on it. They're both identical, no difference in them as far as graphite plastic goes. So just clean out some of this. I think they put that hole in there in order to feed wires through for your motor in the back. Smart thinking. That's good. So this shock tower mounts which direction? Mounts this way. Right on the back like so. And then it uses 4 of the medium length, not sure what length, cap head screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I had mentioned in a previous video I was thinking of at some point maybe converting this over to metric, but the metric wouldn't work in this situation unless I ground down the heads of the screws or open these holes up, because the heads on the metric screws are a little bit bigger. Next step is the long screw goes through. I'll put it on, which hole are they showing? Showing put in that hole. And then the shock mount. Other side. Shock mount. And thread it in. Gonna try to do the track again this or next spring. I got an idea. It didn't work out the way I'd hoped to get the track done last summer. Place out in the pasture that I was building it was full of weeds, so I tried to work it, got all the weeds out or the grass out, and was building some hills, and then time got away from me. I didn't do anything on it. By the time I got back to it, it was so covered in weeds it was just about impossible. So this year, or next year, I'm going to build it in a different spot out on the lawn. I've got so much lawn here that I'm willing to give up some of it, save me having to cut it, by building the area into a track. The nice thing about the lawn is there's really not any weeds and it's going to be flat already, so I'll just spray some agricultural strength weed killer on the grass, or grass killer or whatever, herbicide, kill the grass, and then start hauling dirt and building the jumps right on top of the ground. I think it'll work out a lot easier. See some bashing action on the track this next summer. Okay, next step is to mount the bulkhead, just like so. Now it takes two of these countersink, they call them flathead screws, I call them countersink screws. To each their own, I guess. And two of them go down here. Might be going to the city next week, so I'm going to stop the hobby stores, get some of these standard style, the ones you can put in the electric screwdrivers, make life a little bit easier. Now, need these two guys, two of these washers, these gold colored washers for the top of the bulkhead. Alright, found the ball driver. I got these Dubro set. They're not bad. The only problem with them is, I don't know, they made these handles a little too small. I know the reason they did it was so you can't over torque stuff, but they're almost a little too small to look at getting a different set. They'll do for now. I'll get these in, like so. Okay, next step to do the dog bone universal joints. You know what? Those are all already built. So to do the rear, I've got to build the hubs, the bearings. Oh, and I see an issue. Hopefully it's okay. You can see there, the shield is out of there. Now, I'm not going to have bearings like this available, so I'm going to build it so that the shield, this side with the missing shield, is pointing inwards. Unless I look through the extra pile of parts, maybe I'll get lucky and there'll be a bearing in here with the shield. Yeah. Voila. Perfect. So this can go away. Hopefully this one's not too crunchy. Nope. I'm going to check all these and oil them. Fast forward this section. Alright. Bearings in the hubs, or the uprights, or the whatever you want to call them. They're hubs. Bearings go in. Drive shaft goes through like so. I think I might actually take some emery cloth and clean those up a bit so they fit a little better. It's going to take me a little bit of time, so let me get these cleaned up and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back at it. Got sidetracked digging the Christmas decorations out. So got that side in. Gonna do a quick polish on this side. So I think this is 400 grit sandpaper. No, it's 1,000. Give it a quick wipe. I'm going to use my file just to deburr these holes where the pins go through. So it should go in fairly easy, like so. There we go. Smooth as silk. Just looking at the instructions. Yeah, I'm thinking the pins are probably missing. If I recall, they were actual, what do you call it? Roll pins as opposed to just regular pins that went through the holes to engage the rim. Oh, there's one. And I got a feeling I won't have them both. Yeah, you can only find the one. It was nice that they were roll pins because they would stay in place, but since I don't have them both, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll use maybe a drill bit, piece of hardened steel to slide through there, and that'll do just fine. So the next step is to mount the hubs onto the arms. I gotta make sure I put them in the right direction, because they have, I think they have some, yeah, they have some caster, I think it's called toe in or toe out built into them. So you gotta differentiate between left and right. So we go like that. Oh, I missed one step, sorry. That's the left one. Got to put the ball studs in as well. Like so. Now there's these spacers actually go on here as well, but I can't put them on at the moment because I don't have the pins. The pins are what hold them in place. They'll just end up going missing. I'm just going to leave them out for the time being. Thread this in. Surprised there's no nut on the back side of that. I've got some 440 nuts, so I just might throw it on there just for the heck of it, though I guess you could say that's extra weight. And I probably put that in the wrong way. Yes, I did. It's interesting how... Let me look, I gotta look ahead of it here for a second. No, that's the right way. the left goes forward like so. This is the front side of the arm. So really, it would sit like this. So, yep. Grab a suspension pin and a clip, E-clip, and slap it on there. Put it on one side on beforehand, makes it easier. Slide her in. Now, as I was saying, I'm going to build a track. It's going to be, have to design it in such a way that I can run the smaller vehicles like the 10th scale stuff and still run the Baja as well, because decided my next thing I'm going to do is tear into the Baja and give it some love. I haven't really used it much the last 2 years. I'm going to do a tear down of it and maybe upgrade a few parts that I can afford and go through the motor, make sure that it's okay, and put it all back together. That'll be another video series, maybe after this one, but we'll see, because I don't have the cash with Christmas coming to order some parts. I gotta kind of, well, I guess I could do a tear down, and then once I do a tear down, I can kind of decide some must-have pieces for the rebuild and some would be nice to have but don't need stuff as well. Do some upgrades at the same time. So we'll see. That may be the next video series, or I may do the Tamiya TAO2 rebuild. I'm just waiting on the bearing kit for that I ordered, because it's all bushings, so I figured I might as well upgrade the bearings. Back in the day, that was one of the best upgrades you could do. So now I see an issue. Calls for 2 turnbuckles, and I've only got 1. So I'm going to go hunt down the parts and build these turnbuckles, and I won't bother recording that because it's boring stuff. So. Alright, I got the turnbuckles built, but I had a bit of a snag. Here's the original turnbuckle. I can only find one of them. Now, I swear I came across this other turnbuckle somewhere, but I can't find it anywhere. And in any case, this one's bent regardless. So, I went and stole a couple turnbuckles off of my snowmobile project. First upgrade this car is getting, because these turnbuckles, you can see in the video, I don't know if the color will show, they're blue. They're a titanium turnbuckle off of my 12L4 car that I used to have. So they're going to be plenty strong and they're longer, so they're bottomed out most of the way into the ball cup. And another nice thing about these turnbuckles is they have, if you can see on the hex, they have a little notch tell you differentiate the left and right hand thread, so you can put the notch facing the proper direction on both sides. So that's alright. Next step, I'm surprised they're doing this. I would have thought to do the transmission first, but I'm following the directions the way it shows. So the next step is to slide the pins in. Now these are captured, which is nice. And I also see these little plastic, they're supposed to be washers here. Now this is one thing I couldn't quite, if they were metal washers or if they were plastic washers, but they're metal washers. So I don't have them in the proper bag. Hopefully they're in here. If they're not in there, which, bummer, they aren't. Next step is look in the extra parts bin. sure. Maybe I'm hoping these are the right ones. They look like it. They fit in here. I think you only put it on this side. I don't think there's a space on the back side. Nope. So they go in there. Not sure why. Maybe it's for friction purposes. Seems weird to me. Because there's an indentation where they sit. So, I'm not sure what the engineering is behind that. Let's hold it straight up. Slide that over. Slap the pin in. Like so. Do the other side. Quite amazed that I'm actually able to find all these parts, because it's been, like I say, it's been many years since I tore into this car. But I was smart, kept all the parts in one spot. Like, drop this guy in. There we go. So, oops. See that being a problem. I'm going to take these out. Take these out until it's time to put the transmission in. Take those out because they're just going to keep falling out anyway. Now snap these on. So there's a lot of slop in there. A little trick to take out the slop if you need to is you take a plastic bag or saran wrap or something, pop the ball stud off, put the bag over the ball stud, and pop the cup back on, and it cuts a piece of the baggie off inside. It actually takes up some of the slack. I'm not going to worry about it on here, because if I order some parts off that website I've been talking about, pretty sure they have a bunch of these ball cups, so I'm going to get some. Might as well. I think they're pretty cheap as well. There we go. Rear suspension in place, and that's it for bag C. I think the next step is going to be sorry, is to build the transmission. And to be honest, I might as well make a video of it. It's going to take me a while. It might be a long video as well, so I will work on that for the next round. Till then, take care and talk to you later.